interactive activities in facilitation. For those who know that I rely on these heavily, okay? Because I'm a fan of collaboration. I'm a fan of engagement. I want people to play around with ideas. So when I run meetings, I'm always looking out for a way to engage people in working with the idea, playing around with, if it's teaching, if it's training, the new concept. If it's something they're working on, I want them, and you'll see my hands going because I'm a very physical person. I really want them to have a post-it or a card or something. Obviously, in a remote world, you might be putting that as an image on a whiteboard or something. But I want to give them something to talk about and move around, because I find it creates a completely different conversation. If we take away the activities and we just have a chat, we're going to have a chat and it's probably going to be good. Okay? But if within that conversation I throw in activities, I'm going to re-engage people. I'm going to get them thinking about the thing that we put on the table and play around with it and poke at it and prod it. And that's going to elicit more questions, more observations. And this, for me, is incredibly important. We work in a space where it's all about cooperation, about collaboration. So using interactive activities is a really interesting way of pulling those out. How do I do it? Very simple. Right? Doesn't really matter what you do. What I've discovered is give them a thing, give them an idea to play with. You know, get people talking, collaborating, and something will blossom from it. Right? We work with very smart people. We work with people who I hope enjoy collaboration. Most people are cooperative. Okay? So giving them an idea, and you can just say, okay, as a group, come up with your top 5 things. And what you will see is a mini brainstorming session or something like that appear, and they'll fill in lots of post-its and they'll collate them and aggregate and delete and what have you, and they'll end up with 5 to 7 things, and they'll discuss it and they'll move things around. Right? And watching how they use the materials that they have on hand to effectively create their own interactive activity is always wonderful, because you can watch their thinking as it evolves, as it matures, as they distill it down to the core of what they want to talk about. So for me, interactive activities are a huge part of this, a huge part of all of our collaborative work. I'm a huge fan. It doesn't have to be difficult. You don't have to have something pre-mapped out. You can co-create it in the space. When I'm doing the advanced classes for Scrum Masters, I very often don't know how they're going to solve the problem, because I set problems. I leave them to deploy their skills as Scrum Masters to collaborate on a potential solution. Sometimes people know how to solve the problem. They've already got it, and that's wonderful. But sometimes they don't, and they use their time to explore the space and understand how to better facilitate. And for me, that's wonderful as well, because they're learning, they're growing as Scrum Masters, as facilitators. So interactive activities, I found them daunting at times over the years. I thought I have to get them right. I thought that I have to have a plan. And don't get me wrong, having a plan is good. Having an idea of how you would tackle it is great, because you might need to lead people through that process. But more often than not, you can co-create these activities in the moment with the people. Let them explore the space, see what happens. It's going to engage them more. It's going to bring them back into the conversation. And that's what we want to do. As facilitators, our job is to ensure that people are talking about the thing that matters to them. It's their agenda, it's their outcome. And create equal voice within the room. Ensure that everybody has the opportunity to speak. Not everybody necessarily wants to speak out into the whole group, so giving them activities in smaller groups to play around with, and letting somebody who is maybe more willing to talk into the open take that conversation forward, can really aid our cause of getting everybody involved. Interactive activities are a really interesting topic. They take a long time to dig into deeply and understand, and if you've ever built them, they're hard. So please, take a tip from my book. Don't try so hard. Give it a go, see what happens, create the space to allow things to emerge. All right? Work with the participants in the moment. Help them steer their way through, because it's about them understanding, not you.